red as a cherry as I saw my world coming down. The sky was red as a cherry now. As I saw my world falling down, it made a mighty sound, baby. The demons coming up tonight to play. Better stay tuned and be safe. Don't let them in, don't let them in, no. You'll put up a fight. The sky was red as a cherry, yeah. As I saw my world falling down. It came to me like a fever dream. Touch me so deeply in my sleep, deeply in my sleep. Oh.
All right, what up, people? We are back. We are back. We are back. I am your host, Don Escalon. Other people know me as Spencer. Spencer J. It's right. It's right here. You can follow us on our socials at Don_Escalon for my Instagram, my personal Instagram. For this page's Instagram, you can follow us at Centennial_Impact_Productions. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in my guest. He's from the DFW music scene. I usually only really see him in Dallas, but they're all over the place. This is the bass player from Late Night Call, one of my favorite local bands. So, I got the screen all out of whack. Boom, stop sharing. Here we go.
Yo,
Yo, what up?
another day.
Sorry, I goofed. Let me get the screen back where it's supposed to be. When I started to share it, it it locked in a weird way, so you're not actually here yet. So let's get that right. All right. Stretch it out. Oh man, it's all over the place. Where'd it go? Oh man. Here, let me delete this and then bring it back. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete it. We'll just delete. Are you sure? Yes. Add Window capture. Boom. Add existing. Let's go for number 4. Okay. There you are. All right, I gotta condense this thing down again. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. So what's going on, man? What you been up to today?
Today's been my day off, man. I've just been running errands.
Oh
So
man, that don't sound
yeah,
like a day
going
off at
out.
all.
Yeah, I know, but that's what you gotta do when you work every other day. So
I feel it. It's like one of those things. Sleep when you're dead, right?
yeah, I definitely try to get some sleep sometime.
There you go. Okay.
The end of
Okay.
the night.
All right. So I want to ask you some questions, man. One, I want to know about Joe. How did Joe get into playing bass? How did Joe get into late night call? I want to hear the story.
So basically, I just got into bass by I listened to lots of music when I was a kid, and man, I asked my parents for a drum set. Like I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to like get into it, and I just wanted to have like a hobby, something I was passionate about that I could like go full in on. And shit, I didn't get a drum set, but my dad did buy me a bass for my birthday. So
Okay.
he
Okay.
told me if I learned that, then I could get a drum set. But I never ended up buying myself a drum set. So you
Nice.
know,
Nice.
I got good at bass.
Nice. 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 Okay. How did late night call happen? From your perspective, just from the Joe perspective, it doesn't have to be the overall perspective.
Right. I think me and Ricky were friends. We had like jammed previously. We met through Griffin
Mm.
and the local artist out here who's got a band. So they actually had a band together when I met them. And
Ricky and
damn,
Ricky and Griffin.
yeah.
What was their band called?
I mean, I think it was like Griffin's band, and Ricky was the guitar player at the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So that was like 4 years ago or something like that. And
Mm.
I came out here and I was like, hit up Ricky. I was like, yo, let's work, let's make some music.
Okay. Okay.
And so I Ricky's first step was to go to Deep Ellum and just play on the sidewalk out there.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I tagged along. That in and of itself was a whole experience.
Nice. And you guys are kind of famous for that, right? You guys are the group that let me see that. I'm gonna pull you guys up real quick. I'm gonna pull you guys up just so the audience kind of sees. I've pulled up some of your work before on the show, but I want to show them what they're talking about with the sidewalk stuff. So here's a little video. Boom. Here goes Ricky making a what do you call it? A makeshift music stand. Let me share the screen with you too, so you can see what I'm talking about. Share. Da 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 da. Share. There you go. You seeing this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
That's actually pretty recently. That's at Pegasus downtown.
Okay.
That video is, but it is cool because it's like the same vibe to where we're playing for the sidewalk. Like you can see the sidewalk right there. You know what I mean? People are
Yeah.
walking by,
Yeah.
but it's like we're in an establishment, right?
Absolutely.
But before that, for sure, we're notorious for just like popping out, setting up everything. I mean, there was a time where I had an 8x10, and our drummer Jimmy, he had like a huge drum set, like I think like a 22-inch bass drum, 26-inch bass drum. It's been confirmed.
Mm.
And Ricky had just like I think it was like a Fender, two 410s or some shit. Like we were just menaces, bro. Like it got to a point. I think the businesses out there were just like had enough and would just like do anything in their power to
Stop you
stop it.
guys. Stop these guys. Someone has to. No. Okay, I almost stopped the stream. Oops. We're good though. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I almost stopped the stream. Um, word. That's what's up, man. Yeah. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And from doing all that, like, let me ask you guys this in terms of like, how many years have you guys been doing this? And what's next for you guys?
2 years. What's next is a full length album for sure. It's like I
Nice.
think where we're at now, like we first started and we just like jammed and focused on like the music, and then we're like kind of focused on like band aspects of it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
booking
Yeah.
gigs, this and that.
Mm.
And then now it's I feel like it's back to like dive more into the music again and just like make that a sole focus. So we've got a bunch of songs from that the time period we've been together ready to be recorded
Nice.
so that way people can stream them and hear them online. I mean, what's a band without music, right?
Correct. 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 Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited to hear more of your music. I have a couple favorites, songs that I like so far. So, absolutely. Um, all right. So let me ask you this about like the Dallas music scene, because I'm an outsider trying to get my way inside and understand the music scene, and I'm just showing up. From what I've heard from Hayden, he was talking about the pre-COVID scene was pretty dope. The during COVID scene, eventually, I keep saying the COVID, the C19 scene. For those of you who don't understand why I have to say C19 instead of the other word, it's because YouTube may still have an algorithm out there that suppresses people who bring that stuff up. So I don't want them to put some medical misinformation thing under our thing just because I said the word. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, even they said even during the C19 time, the scene was like people were like hungering for like live music. So how were those times? And tell me about the time before.
Right. Personally, the time war for me was like 2015 through like 2018, you know, 2019 or so, because and I wasn't even in this band at the time, but I mean during it was cool, like there were clubs that aren't open now that I remember, like
Mm.
Profit Bar, fucking
I think you might be muffling
Curtain
your.
Club.
I think you might be muffling the speaker with your
Oh,
hand. Yeah,
okay.
a little bit.
So like there was clubs that were around like pre-COVID, like Curtain Club and Profit Bar that I remember
Mm.
that always had stuff going on. There was always that shit going on there.
Mm.
So those don't really exist anymore. But there are still venues that it never stopped at all. There was no impedance. But when I came in and when we started doing this with late night call, it was like nothing going on, in my
Mm.
opinion. Like all the streets, all the businesses were closed. Like there had just been a bunch of riots after the police killed George Floyd, and
Crazy.
just
There
all
was
that
riots.
stuff going on. So
So
there wasn't really much going on the street at
there,
all.
it's crazy how
Just
there.
people out. I
Yeah.
remember there was people out.
Mm.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying that's crazy how there's like a dude got killed in Seattle, and there's riots in Texas. There's riots all over the country. Really, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a trip. I mean, I'm not trying to bring
So
it down to a stale note. You know what I mean? But yeah.
definitely not. Definitely affected like the whole climate at the time. Like there was people outside. Like I remember graffiti all over everything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and everything boarded up, and we would just play outside, and nobody was there to stop us. Like nobody
Mm.
cared to. Like there was so much going on that
Mm.
we were just a piece of it all. And
Mm.
we just kind of did our thing for like I would say like a solid year and a half. We were all out there doing it together,
Mm.
and man, it was sick for sure. Like it's like I think the coolest thing about doing it, playing outside on the sidewalk, is like you never know who's gonna walk by, and like sometimes like just the vibe that it all brings is really something special. You
Mm-hmm.
know, people are dancing like on the street, like if you've been to Sixth Street in Austin, it's like they close the streets off and like people are just walking down the street. There's a party everywhere. It
They
just
they
feels like
they need
feels
to
like that.
they need to bring that vibe out here, right? Like there needs to be some Sixth Street vibes over here. Like I love that, like some sort of art districty
Yeah, I
vibe.
think so.
Cause Deep Ellum could have been that, but it's a little too hot and dangerous right now. Even though it's kind
I
of
feel
chilled
like
out.
too, there's just not as many things in place like to allow certain things and not allow certain things. You know, like in Austin, we went to busk out there and like they told us like, okay, you have a set amount of time you can do this, like, and it's
Mm,
allowed. But
mm,
here it's like a noise violation one day, the next it's playing with amps on the side. Like, you know what I mean? It's just there's
yeah.
not a clear
Code of conduct.
like code exactly for how things are supposed to be done.
Hmm.
And with that, it's just kind of like disorganized.
Let me ask you.
So
Let me ask you this: with the stipulations of like basically the law around here in Dallas, do you feel like the laws are pretty hostile towards like musicians growing out here?
I I think so. I think they are in general though, like everywhere. You know, I think along with the music scene, like it's just it's a party vibe, it's a party energy, and you know,
Mm,
with what that comes with. So I feel like people who are actually like there's a disconnect between us and then the people who are actually making the laws, like obviously,
right.
and it just becomes something that does not going to benefit us for sure. Like just
Yeah.
like there's so many restrictions to open up an actual club, like to get to allow like so many people in there to get a liquor license. Like there's
Mm.
so many things you got to do. Like you can't just like your average Joe couldn't just couldn't just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like unless he had a lot of bread. You
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, if we're talking clubs, that's why I say, and I always encourage, like, when starting a music scene, like, the best thing is, like, house shows at first.
right.
You know what I mean? Because, one, it's your private property. If you want to drink there, you could drink there. If you want to have friends over, you could have friends over. And you could say, I'm having having a light get together. This is not a party. This is a light get
Yeah,
together, and we're
exactly.
having music and festivities. You know, so when you do that and you do it in a way where it's really just not too disruptive, and even the neighbors are on board with it and like it, and stuff like that, which I've been around communities and music scenes like that, like, dude, it's the dopest thing ever. And you allow yourself the ability to grow in a way where at a venue you just have an opportunity at a venue, but you don't have like how do you say it? You just don't have like the flexibility of growing, right? And then the public disturbance thing with playing on the sidewalk, that's just it's a roll of the dice with that sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, okay. So that makes a lot. So you do feel like the laws in general are pretty just hostile to musicians, cuz I feel like where I lived in LA, it's about the same. Like they'll kick you out for playing. Like you can't just play on the sidewalk. You have to.
No,
In fact, you have to get a permit to do it.
yeah.
Yeah, you would have to get a permit in LA to play live locally, and then it'd have to be a designated zone where they allowed you to do it.
There's certain spots. So like, if you wanted to play all over LA, you would probably need like multiple permits
Exactly.
just to do that.
Exactly. For this district, you'd have to get a permit for this district. Yeah. It's not like a universal pass.
That's like something we run into a lot. So we've gotten several tickets for whatever they wanted to give us a violation for.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. You guys are gonna have to put that in your scrapbook. Uh,
The tickets
a
that they
whole,
gave us.
a whole register of tickets, man. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a quite a few.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pull that up from the registry so you could like put that on like that needs to be like your concept album art. It's just like all these tickets, late night call, fucking this guy, fucking mugshot. You need a whole scrapbook of stuff like that.
That would be sick.
That would be mad sick, dude.
Kind of like the banger. I think Beggar's Banquet album has something like that.
Mmm. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, something like that, man. Yeah, something that's like I don't know. I think you guys are like a Dallas national treasure in my opinion cuz you guys are like always kind of around, you know what I mean?
Yeah, have you seen the show Local Legends on Vice?
Uh-uh.
It's like they interview people from certain areas that are like just notoriously around. Like I think they got this guy who I can recall specifically that he dresses up like Superman and just jogs around the neighborhood, dapping people up, just being cool.
Oh,
And it's like a Superman guy. So it's like I can kind of relate us to that a little bit to where it's like even if you don't know us, you still like, oh, that you guys were that band. Like if you meet us,
yeah.
you guys were that band that just jammed on the sidewalk, which is like it's cool. Like it's funny.
Yeah. You're still muffling your phone a little bit with your hand by the way.
Can you hear me now? It's
I
better.
can't. But I can hear when it's like a pinky or something, or something's cupping the bottom. You can hear it. You can hear the quality a little bit inside the headphones.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Word. Yeah. Um, yeah. I think like in terms of like, let me ask you this actually. In terms of like a strategy, like, cause you guys have a strategy, right? In terms of like getting out there playing and stuff like that. What do you think that sets you apart from other groups? Because I've had opinions and I've shared these opinions on the show of like what kind of separates you guys from um, the majority of groups out here in Dallas, which puts you in a very positive light. I put you guys at like somewhat of like at the. I haven't seen other bands that are doing it as hard as you guys.
There's definitely a handful of bands that are go super hard out here.
Okay.
There definitely is.
Okay. Like who?
That being said,
Like who?
honestly, man, I cannot like remember off the top of my head, but I've
Okay.
seen like just at the point the other day, okay, Homewrecker, a band from Denton, so
Okay.
just north of Dallas, like young guys and girls and like bro, they go super hard. They
Okay.
had like the skate shop bumping, like people were moshing, going crazy. But that being said, I mean, I feel like we're not doing anything new, but we're just doing it our way to the
Mm.
fullest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like that's to put it simply, and I think that kind of summarizes it.
Yeah. How does Homewrecker I'm trying to find them on Insta.
For real. So they're called Homewrecker and the Bedwetters.
Ah, Homewrecker
They're on Instagram.
bed. Homewrecker BW. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, DF. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay. 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 All right. Word. Interesting. What kind of music do they do?
Mm, definitely like heavier music, like
Mm,
not like some like polished like anything like that. It's
for
I don't
sure.
know how to describe them really other than just like heavy, kind of like just like shoegazer, but like not really.
Okay.
Just like their vibe, like
Very
they're.
slime punky.
I guess that's a good way to say it. They're from college town, so like you got like yeah, grungy would be a good word I think, where it's
Okay.
like just that energy, like a bunch of like pent up rage, like teenage
Mm,
angst. You know what I mean?
teenage angst. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. Okay. Word. All right. I don't discriminate. I'm about it. All about the art. You know what I mean? As long as it's not a gimmick and they're fucking actually good at music, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Right. They
You know,
do have like a cool like they all dress up and stuff too, which is super sick.
that's
You know.
yeah. And see, that's part of it is like if you can do that and your performance is great consistently and you guys are moving up, the good things come to those who are like who basically create a scene around them because if they're what they are and they attract people who want to emulate their vibe, then you're creating a scene all in yourself. And it looked like that. It looked like there's a bunch of people who were about that vibe too. So that's what's up.
Yeah, I definitely see them as like a reflection and like piece of the culture today where they're at, you know.
Mm. Interesting. Interesting. Word. Yeah, so I mean like I would put you guys up there in terms of the bands up here in Dallas. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to get out there with y'all too. I'm putting together a project as well right now. We're going to come out of nowhere, but we'll talk about that when the time
And I
comes.
think that's like how kind of what we did too, like and kind of what my experience has been in Dallas, you know, like if you set it up, like they'll come, just go hard, you know,
Mhm.
do what you want to do and do it the way you feel
Mhm.
expresses what you want to put it across. You know?
Absolutely. I was going to say, is Jimmy around you right now?
Yeah, he's over here.
Okay, I was like, "Hey, Jimmy, I'm gonna hit you up for your own separate interview soon too."
That's what's up.
Word. Yeah, I'm gonna hit him up too. I got to make the thumbnail for him. Word.
So I guess did you have like what else are you wondering about the band? You know, like did you have any questions in mind?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like everybody has like their own origin story, and I was trying to just kind of get at like whatever that was, and like what is late night call? Why is it even called late night call? I, you know, oh, go
I
ahead. You're
remember
smiling.
during the name creation for sure, like specifically, like I honestly just I didn't give a shit to be honest. Like I was like as long as it was cool, like I might speak my mind, but I just wasn't around that time like wasn't very vocal about anything. I just wanted to like jam out, you
Mm,
know.
mm,
And I think we had a friend and or something who had ended up like we realized it later. He's like I don't know, like there was lyrics late night call or some shit, but like we just ended up calling it that. Like one day some Ricky came and he was like, "Bro, how about late night call?" Fucking
mm,
went. There was definitely like a couple other like weird ass names that we had
mm,
before that became the
mm,
final one. But
mm.
shit, I mean, we all used to jam out in Garland, some weird rehearsal studio that Jimmy had. I remember it was like mad spooky. Like for me, I was just like, there was like I remember around Halloween they like had decorated and shit. I'd be like, whoa,
Mm.
mad spooky.
You muffling again, by the way. You muffling again.
Damn it!
Word. I mean, the words were made out. It's like a volume up, volume down, volume up, volume down. But we're good. Yeah,
Gotta keep it interesting.
yeah,
You know?
um, yeah. Dang. So okay. Let me ask you this: like, what would be the ideal situation locally for you guys to be able to thrive more? What is it that you're missing here? And
I
maybe
don't know.
nothing is missing. Maybe everything is
If
perfect.
somebody gave us $1 million, that'd be sick, bro. That'd be sick, sure.
Well, here's the thing. There's
But
there's there's strings that come attached with that $1 million, right?
I'm talking no strings though. No strings attached. Like that'd be ideal for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that would be ideal, but ain't nothing come for free. You gotta give something up for that $1 million. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
That's
give something up.
That's for damn sure. But man, I don't know how to answer that question a little bit, just because I feel like we kind of got what we got. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We can do what we can do about it, and what we can't do, we can't do anything about it.
Mm.
But with what we've got, we can make it. You know what I mean? Like we can do shit.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
but ideally, I think if like there were more like clubs out here, and maybe if people just went out to more shows, like if there was a real scene for going out to shows, like imagine if there was a whole strip where like I've seen it in Tennessee, like every venue like on the block has like concerts going on,
Yep. It's like that in
and then
LA. It's like that in
yeah,
LA in certain places. And it can be I'm gonna say this right now. It can happen here too. What it's gonna take though is having our little microcosm of a scene be the poppin' thing. You know what I mean? It can't just be like um late night calls the only poppin' band on the scene because it's I'm not saying that's what
for
it
sure,
is, but I'd say you guys are the most put together thing, and there needs to be more acts like you guys in our little microcosm of scene that are doing the same thing that we all draw heads. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure. I
Yeah.
think like Hayden's band, and then like Willie and the Wild Cards, like I definitely see them like as that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? These are bands that are like really fucking awesome
Yeah.
and put together and come and do a great show, play good, look cool, and just are like cool people too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, agreed. I just think it's time, right? Because I've been here since February, and I've kind of just I had to stumble onto this scene, right? Because when I first came out here, I was looking for the music scene, and I started in Fort Worth, and I was like, where are some places I can go? I was asking all these different bar heads, like, hey, where can I go? They're like, oh, go to the Freeman and Deep Ellum. I'm like, fuck, I'm here in Fort Worth right now. But I found a whole bunch of
Yeah.
Fort Worth venues. Then I found the Freeman. From the Freeman, I found Griffin. From Griffin, I found Stans. From Stans, I found you guys. And I think I saw, what do you call it? Ricky playing in this random sort of like super group where there's like two drummers.
At the
And
Freeman,
yeah,
yeah, for sure. I saw him play with them one time too. They're
yeah,
sick.
yeah.
That whole scene over there is like insane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like music, it's insane.
Yeah, and so I think that the next step is just kind of like the scene in general stepping up their like what it is to throw shows like, and that stands. And I was talking about this at stands of like, look, if you're gonna be trying to throw shows, like you can't have tables in front of the stage. You need to be able to have people come in front of the stage and like gather up because it's like music is about like you got to have the room to dance or have the room to fucking mosh or whatever.
And I think that's kind of something that I realized like at the venues I was talking about pre-COVID, like Curtain Club, for example, like it was a dedicated venue. You know what I mean? Like they had a bar, like you could go anytime and get a drink, but at the same time, like that's what it was. With
Mm,
the door too, it was a dedicated venue where it's just like empty on the inside for heads, you know. And
exactly. Exactly.
so, and I just don't think it's as much like that anymore. A lot of the venues that are bars now are primarily bars, in my opinion. But
What are we doing to change that? Cuz
um,
cuz here's the thing, here's what we do to change it, right? We fucking steal the heads in those bars. Hey, we're throwing a fucking show over here. Come through.
facts, facts.
You know what I mean? To the point where the bars have to be like, fuck, we need to have bands because the only bars that have people in it are ones that have bands in it. Like it's starting that draw up and causing a disturbance that they can't compete with. And I think that's the biggest thing is like, how do we start the biggest fucking disturbance?
Definitely that. I think what's that big warehouse called? What's that big warehouse called? The where they do
Well, careful,
underground.
careful if it's underground. Don't say it on the podcast.
Well, no, they've been featured on Dallas Observer.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all legit,
Okay.
but it is still like underground.
Word.
What? Yeah, creators don't die. I feel like that's them right now. That's what they're doing. They're creating a space where you can throw shows, they have like raves and stuff, but it's legit.
Oh, here it is. Boom. Creators don't
Yeah.
die.
And they've got a space in Dallas that's like super sick. It's like you can fit mad heads in there and it's like that. There's no tables and this and that. Like it's sick.
Mm. Here, let me see
But
if I
that's what
can.
I feel like they're doing. They're kind of disrupting like the normal bar scene to where you don't have to just like go out and have a drink. You know, you can go to like a full on live performance, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
show or DJ and like really get down.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. I found their page. Let me. I'll share a screen with you. Boom. Share. Okay. So this is their page right here. It's a big ass empty room. Where's this at? We need to throw some shows over here.
It's just South Dallas. It's
South
downtown.
Dallas. Oh, dude, we need to go.
Outside of downtown.
We need to go over here. They have freaking wrestling matches here.
Yeah, it's lit.
Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. This is dope. This is mad dope. South Dallas, huh?
Yeah, we were gonna throw the show we were doing at Goat Hill there actually, but it just didn't work out. I think they ended up being double booked or something, so we just went with Goat Hill.
Wow. Wow. This is crazy. It's like an air hangar type venue. See, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. Yeah, we need to do more of this.
Yeah, that fly shit.
This is dope. This is dope. Oh, so it's like a scene. So is it kind of like a bubble that kind of already popped sort of vibe right now? Like it's kind of, or maybe it's not a bubble. Like it's something that's um kind of at the top of where it's gonna be. Because
I wouldn't
I'm
necessarily
seeing.
say that,
Okay, but
but
I'm saying it's not really a ground. Let me close the blinds over here. It's not
it's
really a
definitely
ground
like
level thing.
yeah, it's they've definitely like been doing this for a minute for sure. I mean, I don't really know, but I mean,
I mean,
look,
maybe we ought to look into doing something like this for ourselves, man. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother beast. It's a
That
whole nother beast.
that is a whole other beast.
Balancing a band and running a whole up warehouse would be insane for
I've
sure.
had to do it before. Oh, let me plug in my computer. Yeah, I've had to do it before. Um, I've had a little bit of experience of running a warehouse. But this is dope. They're definitely onto something over here. Definitely onto something. Super dope. Yeah, they're on the level, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of like having themed events where there's just I don't know, just popping stuff going on. This is it.
We we were so like we
You're
found a space that we could rent out. Sorry, I'm gonna be. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were borging out for a second though. You're good now. Now.
Okay. We did the show months back. We found a space we could rent out and just did it, and it was sick. It was sick. We tried to make it like '90s theme, so we asked the DJ to play like '90s music and like DJ it. It was tight, and I've never really seen like one of those iconic like shows before. But I saw it for the first time that night. That was amazing.
Mm.
You know, where
Word.
everyone's like dancing in a circle and then somebody jumps in and like does a backflip or something crazy, and everyone's like, "Oh!"
Shit. Is their thing creators die? It looks like creators die.
No, no, creators don't die.
I mean, it just says straight up their branding says creators die. And they got Nipsey Hussle here who's dead. Like right there. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the branding, but like, oh geez.
No, it is.
You know what I mean?
maybe it's like hidden in there somewhere, you know? It's in some way that like we don't understand. You gotta like really understand.
you got to look
I
at it.
see what you're saying. But yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. I mean, good on them for creating something. I'm not hating on it. It's dope. But it's a trip cuz it's a whole bunch of dead creators up here. You got, what do you call it? What's her name? Um Amy Winehouse, Prince.
And we're all
Yeah.
gonna die one day.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Let me go ahead and get off of this. I'm going down the
I feel
rabbit hole.
like if I was to like interpret their name though, it'd be like you kind of like live vicariously through the work you did while you were alive, you know,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
which makes you like don't die.
You're muffling again. You're muffling your phone. It's how you hold the phone, bro. It's how you holding the phone.
Dude, I promise I'm holding it right. Maybe I don't. Maybe I should unplug it. I'm gonna unplug it. There we go.
Okay,
Now,
don't let it die though. Don't let it die. Word. Word. Yeah, no, maybe I'm misinterpreting that. Art is you could interpret things differently depending on how you're looking at it, right?
yeah, language is definitely subjective.
Yeah. Well, in some senses, right? In music it's not. Like in music, only 100% of people listen to the top 10% of music. Did you know that? From a worldwide perspective,
What was that?
100% of people who listen to music listen to the top 10% of music. Top 10 percentile.
Damn.
Because the music that's at the top 10% have something in common. It's universally good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I would say that you guys are in the top 10 percentile. You know what I mean? Because it falls into that box of what the top 10 percentile has, which is sonic synchronicity, um, whatever that it factor is, uh, cohesive tempo, no breaks, no argument in the middle of the music. Like, oh, these fools broke out of character and started arguing in the middle of the song. See, that's not top 10 percentile. You know what I mean?
Right.
In a recording,
I don't know. Have you seen Oasis?
I have not.
Have you heard? There's a you know the band Oasis?
Mm-mm.
Champagne Supernova. Champagne Supernova.
Yeah, yeah.
That song.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They were fucking insane. Apparently, I remember there's a documentary of them on like Netflix or something, and they would do that. They would like the singer would stop singing, and then they would make the rhythm guitar player finish the set, bro, and just like go backstage. Like
And argue?
I don't know, man.
No, no, no.
Yeah, he'd just
I'm.
like get mad and like
Well, see, I'm not talking
fuck.
about the performances. I'm talking about the recordings.
Oh, like sonically.
Yeah, sonically,
Right.
their sound, not like fucking motherfuckers get off and start arguing. Uh,
What I wonder if there's like a formula for it all, you know, like all these bands have in common, like they're universally good, right?
yeah,
But like I feel like you kind of did express the formula. It's just like, is there actually a formula, or is it just like
yeah, there
what we
is,
do and then like
because there's a formula to what doesn't work, right? Which is anything that's not, um, let's say coherent, like people playing in not different keys, because that's jazz. You could play in different keys, but like, um, the non-meshing of music. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jackson is universally good across the planet. Why is that? Everybody loves Michael Jackson across the planet. They embrace that sound. And it's a universally good sound, even in China, even in Russia, even everywhere. You know what I mean? Love or like the guy for who he was, but like that's a universally great sound.
I need to talk to Quincy Jones.
You said you might need to talk to Quincy Jones?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's an expert in the field, but yes, but I'm saying in terms of like what makes music um like how do you gauge the I guess you could say the value of the sound, but it's like what makes his sound travel across the earth further than other music? Because today we have access to spread our music all across the globe. What makes his sound peripherate? Man, I've been having a hard time saying this like for a couple days now. What makes his song go across the earth more in an age where the internet didn't even exist? What makes his sound so great?
I mean, I think Michael Jackson was just insanely talented to the point where it was just like it was crazy, you know? Like I controversially, like this might be a controversial statement, but I feel like nowadays, like in general, while there are musicians who are extraordinarily talented, I feel like it's not necessarily the ones who are the most talented going like the furthest in the industry or just with their bands or whatever.
That's exactly right.
I feel like in the 80s and stuff, like talent, like you had Jaco Pastorius with Weather Report. Like, you know what
Boom.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No, absolutely. And that's what I had a
Cyber.
Oh, sorry, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead, speak again.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, because I second that because I had a conversation with Hayden the other day about that when we were basically talking, and I was like, think about like today, so, a lot of the musicians who are put out in the mainstream aren't necessarily the greatest musicians. It's like they check boxes for like you're this type of minority group, you're this type of blah 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 blah. But like think about Freddie Mercury. I didn't care what he was. I didn't care if he was gay. I thought he was dope because he was super good at what he did. You know what I mean? Elton John. Like it wasn't focused around the sexuality. It was focused around are you good or are you not good?
Right. Definitely.
You know what I
Definitely
mean?
that.
You know what I mean? And it was based off the merit versus being based off of oh these people check these boxes like Lizzo's a plus size woman, you should enjoy her. Like I've never listened to a Lizzo track and just been like mesmerized. I mean, I've listened to a couple of her. I mean, you know what I mean? Am I supposed to listen to you because you're someone who's plus size or whatever, and I'm just supposed to just support you to support you? Like nah, like your music has to be good. Yeah.
I could definitely see how like that sort of selection is happening in today's industry, based on like trends, per se.
Yeah, and
Not-
yeah, and what happens is people are, you know, I forget what that scientist's name was, but he did a test on like, uh, on dogs where he was like he would put the hot dog in front of the dog, and the dog would just chase that hot dog and never reach the hot dog, never reaching the hot dog, never reaching the hot dog, right? When you do that and you give people like incentives, right? Like this is they you show the people, okay, these are the people who are making it, this is what you have to do to make success. Now you're changing the landscape of artists in general of what they think they have to do in order to success in the or be successful in the music landscape, which is to conform to identity politics being the thing that makes you a better musician. No, being a better musician makes you a better musician, and people will support you more because you're genuine versus the whole gimmicky thing of like going out. Like it's one thing if you're that, but it's another thing if you're that and you're good at what you do. And that's not the focus of your music. It could be the focus of your music, but it still just has to be it just has to be so dope. If it's not dope, then you know, then you might just be what do you call it? Industry plant? That's what they call them, industry plants.
Didn't that Redbone, the Childish Gambino song? I'm not sure, like, but I'm pretty sure my mom was telling me this one day that he just like made that song and like put it out there and it just took off.
Yeah, it was a song that was recorded slower and they sped it up, I think, a bit because it was like something that was like way slower. But yeah, it was a dope song.
Hey, what'd you say real quick? I got a phone call. My bad.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying, it was one of those songs that they recorded at a slower tempo and they sped it up to make it like hit pocket. They're like, oh, this actually sounds dope. Like this much clicks up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the point I was trying to make with that is just that in a lot of ways, while there is disadvantages in a society where music is really diluted nowadays, and the fact that it's not necessarily based on talent when it might be based on looks or other things.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we do live in an age where if you make something great, insanely great, and people connect with it, it can like just blow up overnight. You know what I mean? Like in a way, success doesn't come fast because people don't see the hours that you put in to
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do create that something, it's like overnight nowadays. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And that's what I appreciated about you guys at Late Night Call is like you guys are genuinely good at what you do, and so I want to support it because you guys are good. That's why I was like I want to have each and every single one of you guys on the show and ask about how you got where you got, what is Late Night Call, what are you guys doing, like as this show grows, I want to have you guys on more and just be like, hey, let's announce a show, let's announce a tour, let's announce this, so people are connected. You know what I mean? Um, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do with this podcast was like I want to grow this so this can be a music community where we could have this be a hub of like this general scene out here in the DFW area where people kind of get along and talk about like what's kind of going on in the scene, you know what I mean? From an
Yeah,
outsider perspective of like music and like what our obstacles are. Because who knows, man? Some investor of the scene could be like, "Hey, I realize there's not a music scene in here, and I want to be able to invest in music. How do I make it easier for creators to create?" You never know who's out there. You know? Could you hear me?
yeah.
Okay.
Anything possible. Sure.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying um like having this type of podcast setup, like I don't think the music scene's taking advantage of this virtual medium enough, and this is a place where if you guys were announcing a tour or if you guys were announcing like a release, like there could already be a community online that is subscribed to the show that could, it'd be easier as a launching platform for um things to just get out there through the virtual spaces. And that's why what I'm trying to do is create a community on YouTube so we can always say, hey, we're having a show here, and we'll just announce it on the podcast on a live, and then boom, you show up to the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be sick. That'd be
Yeah.
tight. Tight.
Yeah. Or like a release party show. Hey, you can buy tickets here, blah, 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 blah. Here's where you buy the tickets. I'll show it online. Boom. People go click on the link. Just like that.
Yeah, that would be mad sick.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about is using the internet to our th- I, that's one thing that I think that we in this scene could like um do better is using our resources around us in order to get further. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's like we have, while the internet is like, my opinion goes both ways. Like it can be definitely used for your advantage. But I appreciate you for having me on here, Don. I got to get going soon.
Hey,
But
absolutely, man. Thanks for coming.
shout
Though.
out.
All right.
Yeah. Late night call.
Hey, late night call, man. All right. With that, I'm gonna take us out with the commercial, and then we'll get out of here. I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Sick,
Do you want to plug anything before you leave?
Shoot. Play the outro. Late night call outro.
Late night call outro. Should I play it
Intro
from my
or
iTunes?
outro.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Outro.
Nice little note gateway into
Okay.
when the audience members check out our music.
Well, we'll do that, but I was gonna ask you, do you want to plug any socials? Do you want to plug any shows? Do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, we got some shows coming up. We're gonna be playing Cheap Stakes on the 4th, so that's gonna be super exciting for me personally.
I'll be there.
We have played there, but this is gonna be like our actual show.
Okay, I'll be there.
And then Late Night Call TX on Instagram, and that we're pretty active on there. But Late Night Call on Apple Music, Spotify, all that jazz. But that's it.
Dope.
Oh, we got one more thing though.
Okay.
Cash App is send money ASAP, please, if y'all are feeling like helping out the band.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So like, share, subscribe, everybody who's a part of this, so we can grow the platform, so we can get people to Cash App Late Night Call, and myself. My Cash App's down here, SJH205. You can Cash App me too. I need your monies. So, all right, we're gonna take it out, and I will play that song.
Hey, could I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we're also in the process right now of getting fire ass merch in, so stay tuned for that because we're gonna have some really cool stuff coming in soon.
Send me some graphics if you can, so I'll put it up on the show and I'll just advertise it. You're on my show. Anything you guys want to do, I'll just put it up, boop, as a commercial, and yeah, I'll feature you guys.
Sick, man. Thanks.
All right, no problem.
Appreciate you, Don.
All right. I'm gonna take us into a commercial and I'm gonna play that song.
All right, bet.
All right, peace.
This is Spencer. He's in a band, and his music videos aren't the best. But after working with us, he recorded his first live performance, went deep into the jungle for his first music video, starred in his first short film, and acted in his company's first commercial. Did I miss anything?
Nope, I think we got it.
Centennial Impact, where the collision is planned.